Hey guys, it's Grace with the Gaming for the People here. Sorry I haven't recorded a video in a couple days. A personal issue came up, it's been resolved, and without further ado, this is Gaming for the People, and if you guys like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's play some more Danganronpa. And I ask that if you guys haven't checked out my previous videos, you go ahead and do so. Interesting. I'm listening. All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to prevent it from getting wet. The certain something was It was the tart. You're talking about the tart, aren't you? You catch on the plate? You're right. All you would have to do is cover the body with the tart, and they'll take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tart can attest to that. Only one side of the tart got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. Meanwhile, the side that faced down over the body, was kept perfectly clean. Which proves that the killer used the tart to keep the body from getting soaked. But why would they go through all of that effort just to keep the body from getting wet? Most likely, so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse. Exactly like Makoto just gave us. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. The tart. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tart must have touched the body, right? But the body. Wait, something's not right. And what might that be? I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do anything, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko just said. It should have gotten dirty, the blood. Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body had blown up, right? Byakuya said himself not to touch it or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp over the body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it. Maybe the culprit watched it so nobody else would know that they used it. If they had, they would have watched both sides. Just watching one side doesn't hide anything. Oh yeah, true. More than that, what if the blood we saw on the body was some kind of camouflage? Huh? The blood was camouflage. What if the killer used the tart to avoid his bracelet? Then they covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim. You mean they used to see someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that? Oh, I know, they could have grabbed the blood packet from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? I mean, when he was pretending to be dead? No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood right there in the garden. They got the blood right there from the garden, right? Which must mean it wasn't human blood, it was chicken blood. Could have been chicken blood. What? Chicken blood? When I checked on the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4. So you're saying someone killed the chicken and they covered the body in its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something that's awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that the chicken went missing. This proves the base is my theory. Perhaps, but there's still one thing that doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the torch to avoid the water, and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's true, the blood would have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what happened. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean. I have to agree, that's such a new phrase. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene of the crime. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand. Covered it beforehand? When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would? I think so. Wait, no. The head was poking through the neck hole, but the arms were in the sleeves. And that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having trouble keeping up. What settles it?
Here's what happened. The murder took place when the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat around the body. The coat they had already covered in blood. The series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think that it happened after the sprinklers had gone off at 7:30. If that's actually true, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull it off, wouldn't they have had to go to the garden after the sprinklers had turned off?
Actually, that actually would have been all that difficult. Huh? They already had the coat ready, so all they had to do is grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time. Maybe, but still. Tina, after you met with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
No, I headed up to the gym. So Makoto didn't show till later.
Then you had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say? That's not! Don't bother saying that's not possible. I have to admit, Kyoko's reasoning's pretty sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate. And suspicion falls back onto me, yet again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Well then, it appears we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko. Oh, serious, man? Which one of them did it? Why don't we just let luck decide? Let's flip a coin, 50-50 odds. See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not just that. I remember something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burned?
Oh yeah, the one we found stuck in the on the body before it exploded, right? According to the one that took my file, the knife went all the way through, front to back. So what about it?
I'm pretty sure I've seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered. Listen, more important. Now that we have a knife, what are we gonna do with it?
We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do.
No. Anyway.
So much to do. Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me?
It's the knife that can give to Makoto.
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed it earlier. Then why did you hide that fast? It's not that I hid it, it's just... I couldn't be sure what actually happened that night. I thought maybe I really did kill her. Suspicious, very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced! Considering everything I know, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Okay, I was right. At first I thought it was Monokuma file. The knife was just camouflage. Hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard. Lies! We never talked about what killed her. No, don't you remember? The killer covered a dead body in tarp, right? And then put a bloody coat on them, right? In other words, the victim never wore that bloodstone coat until after they were dead. Okay, so what? So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust into the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, meaning she was already dead at that point. Obviously, the stab wound isn't what killed her. Maybe you stabbed her twice. One to kill her and one to cover it up. The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound. Oh yeah, I sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife
was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Explaining the body afterwards was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy the evidence of their crime. So they wanted us to notice the stab wound, then detonate the body afterwards. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It's kind of like at the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why did that body just blow up suddenly like that?
If you bothered to put a lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd better know the answer.
Well, you're so smart, just tell me!
I'll tell you. I bet it was some unknown quantum particle. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level of spontaneous combustion.
I may be dumb, but I'm not not that dumb to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her, or we won't make any headway on this. There's only one reason to explain. Only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground of the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
You know, I feel like I've seen something like that somewhere before.
That's only natural because, of course, we saw the same thing we just mentioned Monokuma. It's part of the bomb.
Oh, then the explosion is because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife, so they wanted the knife wound to look fatal, to look like the fatal injury, so we would suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other suspect, you, Kyoko. Hold on, Byakuya. What's the problem? I just think we need to go through this a little more thoroughly. We don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely been bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine, I have no problem with that. Let's continue the debate. it won't change the facts of this case regardless. We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. The titanium arrow.
じゃあ議論を続けるぞ。被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていないんだからな。
あの爆発は致命傷じゃないんだよね。
当然だべ。爆発があったのは死んだ後だぞ。
ナイフも関係ないのよね。私ここに怪しいの。
この子はファイルによるとそうだ、後頭部に殴られた跡があったんだ。それ以外にも全身に無数の傷があったらしいぞ。
Whoops.
じゃあ議論を続けるぞ。被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていないんだから
あの爆発は致命傷じゃないんだよね。
当然だべ。
ナイフも関係ないの。私ここに怪しいの。
この子はファイルそうだ。
Nope.
じゃあ議論。被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていないんだ。
あの爆発は致命傷。
当然だべ。
ナイフも関係ないの。私ここに
この子はファイルそうだ。
I totally forgot what the answer to this one is.
じゃあ議論を続けるぞ。被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていないんだったら
あの爆発は致命傷じゃないんだよね。
当然だべ。
ナイフも関係ない。私ここに
この子はファイルによると後頭部に殴ったら全身に無数の傷があったらしいぞ。
Hold on, I know where I need to hit it. No, I
被害
think.
者の致命傷。あの爆発は致命傷。
当然だべ。
ナイフも私
Here it is now.
この被害者に全身傷があった。
Nope. Wow.
じゃあ議論を続けるぞ。被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていないんだったら
あの爆発は致命傷じゃないんだよね。
当然だべ。
ナイフも私ここに
この子はファイルによると後頭部にそれ以外に全身に無数の傷があった。
Wow, I knew exactly where I needed to hit, and I still
じ
missed.
ゃあ議論を被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていない。
Let's try that again. Final time, I promise.
全身に
No.
じゃあ議論。被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていないんだ。
あの爆発は致命傷じゃないの。
当然だべ。
ナイフも関係ないのよね。私ここに怪しい。
この子はファイルから後頭部に殴られたそれ以外に全身に無数の傷があったらしいぞ。じゃあ議論を被害者の
Nope. Awesome. I shot the.
じゃあ議論を続けるぞ。被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていないんだったら
あの爆発は致命傷。
ダメ。
ナイフも関係ないのよね。
Awesome. I ran out of time. Yep.
ここで諦めたりしないぞ。じゃあ議論。被害者の致命傷だ。
あの爆発は致命傷じゃない。
当然だべ。
ナイフも私ここに
まずはファイルによるつまり後頭部に殴られた跡があったんだ。それ以外に全身に無数の傷があったらしいぞ。 じゃあ議論を続け、被害者の致命傷が
No, it's definitely the blow to the head.
じゃあ議論、被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていないんだ。当然だね。
ナイフも
お腹の入るつまり
No.
じゃあ議論、被害者の致命傷が
この爆発は致命傷
当然だね。
ナイフも完璧
お腹の入るつまり後頭部に殴られた跡がそれ以外に全身に無数の傷がある。
I've already tried almost every shot.
じゃあ議論は続けるぞ。被害者の致命傷がある。じゃあ議論、被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていないんだ。
この爆発は致命傷じゃないんだよね
当然だべ。爆発があったらしい。
ナイフも関係ないのよね
だとするとここに怪しいんだ。お腹が入っているよさ。つまり後頭部になる。じゃあ議論、
Apparently, I only have one way of getting past this, I think, and that's just
ナイ
by...
フも
つまり後頭部に
It was the blow to the head that killed us.
無数の傷がある。
Cool. Process of elimination.
被害者の致命傷がはっきりしていないんだったら
この爆発は致命傷じゃないんだよね
当然だべ。
ナイフも関係ないのよね
お腹が入るつまり後頭部に殴られた跡がそれ以外に全身に無数の傷があったらしいよ。じゃあ議論、
Well, I'm gonna time out again. So, it's better just for me to get info.
じゃあ議論、被害者の致命
この爆発は致命傷じゃ
当然だべ。
ナイフも関係ない
お腹が入るつまりじゃあ議論、被害者の致命傷がはっきり
この爆発は致命傷だ
当然だべ。
ナイフも関係ない
お腹が入るつまり後頭部になったレイド全身の
That's fine.
じゃあ議論を続けるぞ。被害者の致命傷がはっきり
Alright, guys. I think I'm gonna stop today's video there. I think I'm gonna stop today's video there. I'm gonna figure out the answer so we're not stuck here all day tomorrow. And
よ